In this video, I'll be showing you how to do a dash speaker install on a Jeep Grand Cherokee WK that covers 2005 to 2010. I was an installer for 13 years, and this is actually one of the easiest, most straightforward installs there is. Even minimal experience with installing, I think you'll be successful. So you'll start out by grabbing the corner right here, pulling it up. Then you work your hand around and pop those clips off. Sorry, this is one-handed, so and it just pops right up. That's a 7mm nut, or you can use a Phillips to remove that speaker. Once those screws are out, this just comes right out, and you'll see the clip there. You can either buy the clip adapters online. A lot of people are really afraid of cutting these clips. Don't be. It's really not a problem to just add your own connectors on. Okay, now that I have the clip off, I'm going to show you a couple install tricks here. In this particular year model, the positive is the gray with the orange stripe. The speakers I got were the JBL GT329s, and they have a little bit of ridge on top, so I had to do a little modifying, but most other 3.5 should fit in just fine. This model also came with a capacitor, and this is what's called a bipolar capacitor, so it doesn't matter which side in line you put that capacitor. So as a 4-ohm speaker, this 150 microfarad capacitor will cross the speaker over at 260 hertz. The little 3.5s and 4-inch speakers just can't take the bass like the larger speakers can. So if you get a set of these aftermarket, you want to make sure that you do something for crossover. If you're adding a multi-channel amp and you're running your dash speakers separate from your front door speakers, you could cross it over that way as well. One of the tricks to installing these is to strip off some insulation from an 18 gauge piece of wire and leave just enough at the end to put your connector on. And what this will do is help keep it from shorting out on anything. And you don't want to wrap it in electrical tape. That stuff will just get hot and sticky and come off eventually, and that's no good. After you prep this, you want to make sure there's not much of that wire sticking out of your connector, and you definitely want to make sure it's not too short and that you're crimping on insulation. Before you put your connectors on, go ahead and give that wire a little twist just to make sure it's not fraying. After you've got this on and crimped nicely, a lot of these connectors are loose. Go ahead and try it on your speaker terminal ahead of time. Go ahead and give that a little crimp. You can see the marks right there. Just a little tap with your crimper or your acetyl needle nose, and what that'll do is make sure that that connector is nice and solid on your terminals. Now we're ready for a speaker install. On the right side, your gray with dark green stripe is your positive, gray with a light green stripe is negative. If I didn't say it before, when using a capacitor as a crossover, you always want to make sure it's on your positive terminal. Now, for some reason you have different colors in your dash. This was the Boston system, so if you have a non-amplified or the non-Boston system, it might be slightly different. One thing you can do is just do a quick Google search, and you should be able to find those colors. Also, when they manufacture vehicles, depending on the plant that it comes out of, you could also end up with different color wires. Once you're all hooked up, you can go ahead, set that guy back down in there, making sure you don't crimp any wires in, and reverse order install on your speaker and grill, and you're done.